406_moto. Seems like position during the race has more weight than the championship overall. Or do guys actually care about getting third in the series? So I know for you, did you give a shit about getting third in the series?
No, not at all. I mean, being in my position, right? But that's not everybody. Like they use Shane McElrath for an example, right? Like to finish third in the series would be huge for him, right? So everybody, just different parts of their career or where they're at or what teams they're on and things like that. So everybody has their own kind of goal. I think that if ask Shane McElrath or any one of those guys that kind of dabbles around in that area, like, would you rather finish third in the series overall? I'm sure if there's a bonus to the third, he's probably going to pick that. Or would you take, you call it your first career victory in the 450 class? Which one would be more prestigious, or which one would you rather go home with?
Oh, I would go home with my first win. Ooh, this is a good one, RV. I love it, dude.
Yeah, so tough.
I would probably go third in the championship.
Okay.
Is what I would do over a race win in the premier class.
Yep.
And I think that like, so take a guy like Mook, for example. I think Mookie is like third in the premier class. I understand some guys are like, like out. But yeah. But I think if Mookie was able to get third in the Supercross championship, I think that's a hell of a job. I think it's great. He got a win and he finished third in the Supercross championship. Dude, I think that's massive. And it's going to be big towards the seeding to the SMX playoffs. So he'd have a good, a good seeding going in.
Yep.
Dude,
that's a tough one. You look at, okay, well, if I can knock down a race win, typically that's about $100,000 bonus. If you get third, do you have a bonus? I mean, I didn't have a bonus for third, but other guys do, or, did. It's probably around, I'd say probably less money depending on who you are for third. I mean, well, if you ask me, I didn't have a bonus for third. So yeah, it's more money to win the race. So, but I don't know. It's that's a tough one too. What's more impactful? I almost err on the side of like getting a win is almost more impactful. I think everybody remembers, your first win, especially from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
They always remember who wins the championship, and they typically remember kind of who had won races in this throughout the season.
Fair point. Good question. 406 Moto. That was good. All right. So we let's pass a little trash here for the Dunlop debate. And I haven't seen very many scoop tires rolling up this year. So right.
I haven't, not as many as last year.
No,
that's for sure. But we do have our, I don't know, call it our scoop guru is out right now, Eli, right? So
that's right.
He used to run, he was running the scoop in places I never thought you would ever run a scoop. So, but he made it work. So, but he's not out there in the field. I presume if he was, I think we would see him rerunning it probably at a few more places.
Yeah, I bet he would have ran it this weekend for sure. There's no doubt, especially with how you mentioned it was deep on the start. I think you take that advantage and then manage everywhere else. All right. So the Dunlop debate. So I'm sure you've heard it. Allegedly, Chase Sexton has, and we're going to I want to go big picture here. Allegedly, he's signed his Cowie deal, is what I have heard. Have you heard that?
I have seen the rumblings and the people talking about that. But that's all I've seen. Meaning I don't know anything more than that.
Yeah.
But go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I'm hearing like third hand, like again, and I hate passing it. Like this is where I hate like being skeptical and is this really happening? But I'm hearing it from some pretty decent people.
Yeah.
The people that I respect. But if so, and this is what like if he did, but what I want to do on the Dunlop debate is ask you, RV, and do you think, let's just assume that he has signed and he knows where he's going. Do you think from a championship perspective, from the mental side of things, that now he can rest easy on that decision, put it behind him? He's kind of at ease, whether it's with Cowie, and now he can just focus on moving forward, even if he does or doesn't like the bike that he's riding now. Does it make it easier and one less distraction mentally for the championship?
Well, my take is on that is we're 4 rounds from the end of Supercross, and you have 11 outdoors, plus our SMX championship at the very end of the season. If this is all true, obviously these are rumors at this point, but if this is true, yes, he gets that out of the way. He signs the paperwork, and mentally he's able to know that that's secured and he's moving on. I think one of the things for me that comes into my head, when I think of that is like, look, everything's going phenomenal for Chase right now. So that being said, do you have buyer's remorse if it keeps running out like it's running out right now? He secures the SMX Supercross championship, goes into outdoors, killing outdoors, ends up winning outdoors. So now he's Supercross champ, he's outdoor champ, and then he goes into SMX, and then all of a sudden you're making a complete 180 switch, and you're changing manufacturers, and you're going to go and race for a new team that you're going to have to learn all the new personnel, the new bike, all of that. Or, the other side I look at too is if, say, he's struggling through outdoors and he's just like, you know what, I hate this thing, blah, blah, blah. I just can't wait to get on, this bike. So I don't know. I don't know what
you don't think it. Oh, so I think it helps him straight up. I think it helps him. I think that it's one less thing that you have to worry about. As far as buyer's remorse, I can tell you a story that when I had to sign my Suzuki contract, because they put a time limit on me, and so did Honda, to where I couldn't ride the bike because I was, my ACL was blown out, or I had it repaired, but I was in a spot where I couldn't ride. So I signed it unknowingly, just going off of the research and data that I had done myself and my internal team of where the bike was, and just doing my homework on paper. I'm assuming he's ridden that motorcycle in the days that we live in, if he has signed, like you said. So I think it makes it easier for him. I do think there's buyer's remorse. Going back to what I said, I had buyer's remorse. Because my CRF 450 at the time was insane. And I just remember, like, dude, it's going to really suck if the homework that I did before I signed with Suzuki and making sure that bike was going to be winnable, and I was making a lateral move and not a parallel move. I was kind of sad when I left. I wasn't like, hell yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to Suzuki, because I'm like, it's going to be hard to believe that bike's going to be better than this. So
yeah, and you don't know exactly, obviously. Chase is very professional. We don't know exactly if there is anything he's dealing with internally with the motorcycle, if he things he wants changed, this and that. But what I can tell you, for the ones that are watching, listening, and everything else that just watched Saturday night, that sucker looks like it's jiving really well with him, and he's riding it well. So, that's what I do have to say about that.
I love it. I love it. We'll get on, like, whenever the news breaks, and that's what like kind of sucks about our sport, is like everyone keeps things such a secret. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man, like, let us know. But anyhow, I think it makes this championship situation better. Is there probably a little bit of a buyer's remorse, possibly, especially on a night where he's like, dude, the bike was working awesome, we're in a good spot right now. So
hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.